in the late 90s, this sport was going on. We used to have a local track in Singapore, but I don't know what happened. The track was just closed down, and after that, ever since, a lot of people have been going over to Malaysia to ride.
We're not really welcome here in Singapore, maybe because our bikes are loud. Our bikes are basically race bike, perceived as dangerous and perceived as a dangerous sport. And then
dirt bike riders are gangsters on the streets and all these are just what people have an impression of, but it's not true. It's just like, it's a sport. The girls, they're not really into this kind of dirty sport.
You find it dirty?
Initially I don't, but nowadays I do find it dirty, but I like it sometimes.
They have a very negative image of what a biker is, you know, like very loose, very disorganized, can't control his life, dangerous, and maybe even poor.
Dirt bike riding in Singapore actually has a very big following because dirt bike is not just a competitive activity, motorcycle activity. It can also be a very interesting leisure sport, you know, leisure riding and stuff like that. Of course, there again the same problem is that in Singapore, because of our size, we don't really have a vast land for people to engage in this kind of activity. So a lot of our guys actually have to go across to Malaysia to do their riding.
I've been racing for the last 5 years. Started in 2002 when I was about 22. I chose the sport by chance actually because I got good results for my A-levels and my mom bought me a trail bike and then started going trail riding and then it was quite fun. And I met him and he told me, why not try motocross? It's something else. It's not a mainstream kind of sport. So I thought, why not? So I went and give it a try.
I think compete twice. Once I think in year 2001 and the last one is at Cine Leisure. Yeah, the Channel U. Organized by Channel U. Yeah. I work as a flight stewardess. Singapore Airlines. Yeah, I know it's quite rare and it's quite a twist, but yeah. After I had this job, I haven't been riding for quite some time. Yeah, I did tone down quite a bit because I was afraid of the scars and it would cost me my job, you see. But I just take my time and do it slowly.
I started riding on 18 and I'm a mechanic. On 20 years, 28 I own a bike shop. So I race about 15 years.
Started sometime end of 2004 and then for 2 years been active.
I started riding when I was 5 years old in Dubai.
What's your name?
Cameron.
How old are you?
5.
You go to school?
Yes.
Which school do you go to?
And Tanglin Trust.
What's your nationality?
I don't know.
England. You don't know?
England.
Small guy. Boy, I want them to record the pictures.
We went up to buy a bike for me, and he found this little bike in the back of the shop and was quite keen, wasn't he?
It all started, I went out and I started taking photographs, and of course what interested me was a motocross race, and it was in Singapore then. This was maybe about 17, 18 years ago. So that's how I got close to a motocross team, and they engaged my services to take photographs for them. At that point of time I was about 17, 18 years old. I bought a dirt bike, of course, out of interest. So opportunity came when they bought all the bikes. It was 8 bikes for the whole team for the whole year, and they were all set for the start of the season, and one of the Japanese riders had to go back to Japan, so they were short of one rider, and they offered me this ride. So I was, of course, overjoyed. I took up the offer.
I started out riding in the 90s. Started as a normal leisure riding, whereby more for enduro trails. Then we rode together with our Malaysian friends, and that's how we got hooked up to motocross.
These people are doing this because of passion and heart. I mean, without this, I don't think some riders like, you know, the well-known riders like Nizam, you know, and the rest of the guys, you know, if not for passion, and they wouldn't go this far, you know, take risks like injuries, yeah, because it's all paid by themselves.
No, tonight I'm going to Malaysia. Tomorrow and Sunday there'll be a race. So I'm soon going back. We'll come back to Sunday. When I picked up this hobby, I was studying in the Polytechnic. So I didn't have any money with me. I of course have to rely on my parents to buy me my first bike, and
to attend lectures.
Yeah. So I used the dirt bike to go to school, and it was on the road, and that was when I started to go off-road and discover this as a sport, and then started racing. But I was very lucky that my first year racing I was sponsored by a team, and I don't think my parents had to spend a lot of money for my hobby. Just my first bike, and helped me out with the paying the first bike, and of course the usual pocket money when I was in school.
So after he graduated from Nian, he went on to he was
Air Force
for a while, 6 years, and then after that he left for UK to study, came back, he got a job now. So I think the thing generates his bike. He keep on renewing and so on. He's self-supporting now.
Never been to the track in Loyang when it was running?
No, we passed by, have a look and so on, that's all.
There was one time we were passing the Channi Road. They were having a mud track there. We know that he's down there. We were in the car, we passed, we know that he's in it.
You never wanted to see your son?
I want to see, but he always pack his thing and then go very early. I don't know where, which part, which joint.
Because if we join him now to go, no space in the car. And we don't want to drive in on our own.
I would very much like to see one day that he ride on the dirt track.
Sunday
This Sunday. Where?
in Air Hitam.
Air Hitam is not very far, Malaysia.
Yeah.
I never see him ride.
We are going.
Yeah,
Would you like to join us?
Sunday, this Sunday.
This Sunday.
Ketika ini kita akan lihat di garis penggunaan sekarang para penumpang akan sampai di dua pusingan terakhir. Ini dia Mama Sore, dua pusingan terakhir.
Hey, all together side by side like that. Hey, what are they? In the video, I didn't know he's here. I was trying to make a maneuver. I hit his brake. Oh, I mean, you look good.
Singapore, we have slackriders.com, which is it started out as like a group for maybe 6 or 7 of us who are interested in dirt biking on a motorcycle in Singapore, and joining races in Malaysia. I mean, Singapore is so small, we don't really have a land to ride, and we can get together, meet up, and go riding together. So it started out like an email group, it grew into a little website, and then became a little forum for discussion, where to buy parts, where to go riding, where to meet up, and then it grew and grew and grew. It was first set up in 2001, and then it grew to right now we have close to 8,000 members on our website, registered members. Maybe about 1,000 of them are very active in there. It's sr.bikes.com, and what we still talk about is parts, buying parts, where to get things done, services on like suspension, engine rebuilding, where to ride, events that are coming up, races, trail rides or just fun rides, and even get together, you know, like having a coffee session or makan session, and that's getting our whole community together. So I maintain the website, I own the domain names, and this is my house, and this is where I usually work on updating the servers and the websites here.
It's actually through a dirt bike forum called slackriders.com. Basically, I was there to search for a bike, but stumbled across this motorsports, which I found it quite interesting. So I decided to give it a try.
At one time, they were riding in Loyang, you know, in Singapore. Then I don't know what happened to that piece of land where they were riding. A lot of events were held there, I think over a year or two, something like that. Then the land simply, I don't know whether government or private bought over or some authorities, and then they had no place to ride. So they slowly, the group went over to Johor. Now they are in Johor all the time.
There isn't any track, be it road racing, be it for dirt biking, off-road riding tracks in Singapore. So most of our members or most of the riders here in Singapore, they move to Malaysia. Due to the vast land available in Malaysia, they have a lot of road racing and also a lot of dirt bike riding tracks in Malaysia.
We need to go somewhere else and kind of like bring our hobby, our talent, our fun, you know, to Malaysia. Not that Malaysia allows dangerous sports, it's just that they have better education in Malaysia, and the people there are more educated in the sense that they know it's danger, they know it's hazards, but precautions are taken.
Has turned into a little bit of a business as well for me, because to maintain my hobby I need to raise money for my sport, and I have to do some sales, some part sales. So I'm literally selling some parts into Malaysia to the Malaysian riders as well as the Singapore riders, and it's very specific for the sport of motocross. And it applies to nothing else. So right now, just had some new stuff come in, and it's quite messy right now in the house. But yeah, my parents are always telling me to clear up the place. So yeah, I should clean up this place here. Right now it's all my stuff. For me, I have a few contacts in the US, and I bring in some things for my own. Like I might need exhaust pipe, and I need some protection gear like new helmets or new chest
protectors, and then I collect. It started out by being collecting orders from my own friends, my own people who are interested in the hobby, and then I get a discount when we order in bulk, and then it slowly turned into a little, business that I order more and I try and sell things. So every time I buy something for myself, I just buy 20 maybe, and then start to sell them. These are very special race bikes, and even the agent themselves will not be bringing in so many of these bikes. So there is a shortfall of these bikes. Yeah, we ship it in from US, and we sell it to people who want it. So yeah, so some of these bikes may be used. Like this is a 06 model, and in terms of racing, that's pretty old because everybody wants the latest 07, 08 bike so that we can be the best competitor in the track. So this is a 06. We bring it in, we kind of refurbish it a little bit, repair a little bit of things, and then we sell it at a very low price as well. So because a brand new bike with a full setup of race parts would typically cost about 10,000 Sing dollars. A second-hand one like this, 06, which has done 1 or 2 race seasons in the US, and we buy it in the US, we bring it back, we recondition it, and then we sell it to a local racer or a person who wants to start racing. It will cost about 6,000 Sing. 6,000 Sing, complete, everything working, running order, and things are fresh again. New tires, new pistons, new parts in there, new bearings with grease. So it's a cheaper, much cheaper starting point. And typically a used race bike like this would also have a lot of good parts in it already, because the previous owner would have bought certain certain aftermarket products that he would put into the bike, and so this bike, I would say, if it's well kept and well maintained with lots of parts, it can be competitive with the latest bikes. So this is my transport bike, the bike that I go to work with, move around town most of the time. This is a Honda, very reliable brand that, and it's cheap. It's actually more than 10 years old. It's well maintained, that's why it looks so clean and nice. Again, it's a dirt bike, so I know how to fix the engine, and all the parts are very easily available. For me at least, I know where to get all the parts. This bike compared to my race bike, my race bike is like 50 horsepower. This bike is like 20 horsepower, 20 horsepower versus 50 horsepower. It's about the same capacity in engine size and everything else. It's got big lights and all the signal lights, all the mirrors, license plate, what else you have, all the footrest, passenger footrest, stands, and everything else that you need to make it road legal. So this engine also produces electricity for the lighting coil, and so that I have a meter and signal lights and my key that can go in. So these are the main differences. It's a lot heavier, it's got a big battery and a lot of other junk. It's a metal tank. A lot of things are very heavy. Like this is stainless steel instead of aluminium. Yeah, so this is a bike that you actually ride on the road, and it's very nice to ride. For me, I like this kind of bike, so I upkeep the bike, make it look good. It's considered a classic, this bike right now. It's more than 10 years old. Over here is my girlfriend's bike. It's in repair right now. You can see it's not very happy state. It's missing bearings, the head bearings here, which I just got in the post, bearings from the US. So I'm gonna put in the bearings, put in the rest of the front, and then it'll be up and happy bike again, hopefully by today. This is a kid's bike. It's 110cc. It's got 4 gears. It's very small. My girlfriend owns this bike, and she'll ride it at the track whenever I'm practicing on the big bikes. So yeah, it's a fun bike, and it can be quite fast. This bike is pretty fast as well. This is strictly for recreational use. You cannot use it on the road. Again, it's got no signal lights and everything. It's used with, like, when you go out in a family to go trail riding in the forest or jungle, well, with the whole family going off-road.
How much is the bike like?
This bike is particularly cheap, and it costs about 3,000 Sing dollars. So it's not expensive. This is the same engine that is found in most of the Malaysian cups, you know, the mopeds that they used to go around on the road, they travel on the road. So it's the same engine, and you can get really cheap spare parts. Actually, it's, in Malaysia, it's known as a Modernas engine. So this is what I'll be racing tomorrow. So just to introduce you the amount of technology in this bike, you have an aluminium silencer. You have a rear suspension that is very high tech. You have a titanium spring. You can't find titanium springs even in race cars. You have adjustable high speed and low speed compression, and you have a rebound control here as well. There's about 22 steps on each of these compression clickers, and of course it's gas charged, and you have a linkage system that will make it more progressive. As you take the big jumps, it would be very hard, and when it takes the small bumps, it will be very soft. You have disc brakes front and back. You have a titanium exhaust pipe. What else do you have? Oh, you have a very high performing engine, which revs up to about 11,500 RPM on the red line. You won't find that in cars. Cars would only go about 5,000, 6,000 RPM on the red line. What else? It's a very advanced front fork with black coating here. You can see it's a black color coating instead of the usual chrome color on forks. It's a very friction reducing kind of coating, which is used just a few years ago. It was only exclusive to all the top riders in the world, you know, but now they've trickled down all the good parts into production bikes, production race bikes at least. Again, handlebars are all aluminium, and these are all cast aluminiums. It's a very good parts that I can say about this bike. It's original bike that produces about 53 horsepower for a less than 100 kg motorcycle. That's quite impressive. So yeah, this is what this whole bike is.
A lot of friends telling me, wow, you let your son ride this gambler and all this thing. They will tell me stories about how people's son was killed and all this thing. but I believe he knows how to practice safety. Because in all hobby we learn, first thing you must have safety. Ride safely, and then you really follow all this rule. I think this sort of thing won't happen. Only accident, you may have a fall, you break a bone or two, yes, that will happen again.
Into the first lap of the first moto, the first race on Saturday, and then he crashed on I think it was a double, and that was a really bad crash because he was in and out of consciousness, and the ambulance took us, him and me, to Putrajaya Hospital, where he stayed there for 2 nights. Fractured my wrist. Yeah. That was in Malaysia, trail. Yeah. So it was like going down slope. I didn't see what's in front. So going down slope, and by the time I saw it, it's like, wow, there's a lot of stones and ruts, and I know I can't make it, so I just let go.
They do disagree on me playing the sports ever since I broke my leg in 2005, the race that Fizzy won. That was one of my major races, but during the practice I had a little bit of misjudgment over the jump, and I kind of crashed and I broke my femur. And on the way to recovery, I think as I just started working again, I had a road accident and I broke my femur again. Yes, and then it took me a while to recover. So on overall, for the whole of this 2006, I was spent more on like recuperation. I broke my leg and getting my strength back again. I only started riding again early this year. So it was very much difficult because first thing I always worry about the fact that what if I crash and break my leg again, or you know.
Kita happy juga. Tapi kalau gini, pagi keluar, malam balik, pagi je balik dah kaki sakit, kaki patah, pergi hospital, tak kerja. Berapa lama tak kerja, tak ada orang support sama dia. Kita juga mak bapak. 1 bulan hospital, kita juga ulang alik pergi hospital. Rumah jaga, ada kasih orang jaga sama dia, apa lagi? Orang tua, kita family juga belanja sama dia. Itulah, itu je saya nak cakap tentang ni. Kalau tak ada yang betul-betul tak ada makna.
Even my parents also say it's a very dangerous sport because we race, we encounter injuries also. Sometimes we got injuries also. So most of my friends and parents, they all discourage me. But anyway, my passion is very strong for this sport, so I just continue.
I mean, this is extreme sports. You know, I'm not playing table tennis or a very safe sport or what. So there are bound to be some falls here and there.
I think the government doesn't encourage it because I mean, their policy is that we have only human capital, and then one life gone is one life too many.
Well, but, I don't think so, you know.
Not in the policy.
Yeah, but you know, if this sport is done correctly, it's very safe.
Yeah.
If it's organized properly, with all the safety checks in place, all the safety gears, and if you have proper briefing, proper practice, it's very safe. I don't think there should be any accidents other than a real accident.
You have to be careful.
You have to be careful. What do you do to be
I
careful?
have to be sensible.
Sensible. How do you be sensible and careful when you ride?
Wear all the right clothes. And boots.
The danger is only as dangerous as the rider himself, you know. Like same as for soccer, the danger is only as dangerous as how the rider, the players play. I mean, I got more injury playing soccer than I've got riding motocross. I got a slip disc playing soccer. I got a torn ligament playing soccer. I tore my hamstring playing soccer. On the contrary, since I started motocross, no injuries.
Itu petugas sebagai petugas LDK terjatuh dengan semangat.
If it's his interest, then we cannot stop him. We can only encourage him and sort of pray for his safety and he takes care. And wish him all the best.
I believe every sport has some danger, you see, but you have to take care. You go, always I tell him to value your life, take care, your life comes first. You may race, but you have to really take care. Because I think he had a few times he had an accident
yeah.
also.
I think my parents are scuba divers as well, so they
we know
at their
we know
age,
that
they still go scuba diving, and I think they can understand the dangers of an exciting hobby.
We know that certain sports are dangerous, but you have to take care.
For me to go around working, I was on a scooter for some years, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. So I suppose the children got the feel of it when they were very young, because I used to pillion them and so on.
So my parents can see a lot of riders, a lot of friends coming to the house, and we spend a lot of time every weekend. Sometimes, like tonight, I have to go into Malaysia just to stay overnight so that I can be in time for tomorrow's race. So it's not only me, there's quite a lot of riders who will be traveling tonight as well. They will stay overnight, and then tomorrow morning everything is ready for the race. I think a lot of time is wasted.
Tomorrow, and the riders also will be there. So he advised to be tomorrow better. Okay. Yeah. So I said, okay, sure. No problem.
But it's not any taller.
Right, it's just slightly taller.
Can you extend the clamps up so that it's taller?
Okay.
Then it's taller a bit. So now it's 1
I know.
inch now.
I purposely didn't do it.
Kind of, because for over a few years when I was with him, together with him, I've been to races, I've been with him to practice, and every time, I just sit around, wait for him. Either I fall asleep, or I'll take a magazine and read. So there came a time when he said, there's this bike, and it's a small bike, and I said, hey, why not? It's a fun bike, it's affordable, and I just thought that, hey, why not? I just buy and for fun and ride. I mean, I didn't think of myself as, want to train to be a motocross rider or what, but, just for fun. So on the weekends, at least when he's riding, I can ride, and I'm enjoying myself. And for those weekends when I ride, I look forward to it.
Satu kat mana tu?
Tak apalah, ada. Dia suruh aku ambil Mana?
Boleh masuk tim green lah
Boleh lah.
Sekarang semenjak aku dah macam ada tracking set kat rumah, video nak tengok tu, nak kena tengok motor tim green tu.
Macam kat Jakarta mana kau sini?
Right now is all the veteran riders in Singapore. All the veteran riders in Singapore.
Dapat pulang.
Nak bawa dalam.
Nak lock pakai apa? Tak apa lah, kit ada sini apa? Okey, ya, correct.
I went riding with my other bikes just to explore some new places. Then I found a open road, so I decided just to recce in, and I discovered this place.
It's somewhere actually in the northeast, right in between the northeast. It's pretty much secret though. We can't disclose this place because we don't want to get the authorities to get involved and stop us from riding, But however, I think that's how the motocross community has been doing though.
And monitoring the traffic in here, I think it's quite a safe place. It's away from the public, and there's no small children. There's no
riders as well. So it's not only just a track, you have to ride with people who are pretty good and or of your standard at least, and then you can improve and push yourself.
Yeah, you can't get those kind of tracks over here in Singapore. The Malaysia tracks are far more better than here. Well, the last track that we have is Loyang track, but still can't be compared to Malaysia's track. Well, the downside is just the travel time over to Malaysia, and transportation wise.
practice my skills on tight days in Singapore, but if I have time, I'll still go to Malaysia and pit my skills against the better riders of Malaysia.
Sports council, they never really know what to do. So, I mean, they're not experienced enough.
But they have a motor.
Yes, there is. I mean,
part of the sport council. They have a motorsport.
it's just a matter of like, you know, a title like our very own Singapore Motorsports Association, but nobody really know what to do actually. You know, it's actually the riders who knows more on what to do.
Go David, try a case. After that, break his thing.
Everyone coming to Singapore is a great boost for Singapore in terms of image. Of course, besides tourism dollars, it will increase the exposure of motorsport, of Singaporeans to motorsport. And I think this will really broaden the interest in other aspects of motorsport, not just on Formula One, but other car-related motorsport and motorbike as well.
No. F1 is not for us, for not mortal humans like us. It's beyond human. Like you get groomed to drive this kind of machines. I mean, I don't think I see any Singaporean driving F1 for the next 100 years maybe. Maybe we do have a Singaporean, but not a local born.
Even if we have a very talented driver in Singapore, I doubt we'll be discovered and groomed to become a Formula One driver. Because there's no grassroots racing or low-level kind of racing to bring us up.
Basically, the agencies are not interested to bring up these drivers. You know, the government agencies. I don't think they are interested in motorsport as a sport, but as a tourist attraction, they are, because it brings in a lot of immediate revenues and immediate funds. But if you talk about grooming and having a Singaporean guy up there, it's just gonna take too much time. Everybody's gonna forget about it. Yeah.
You see, I mean, like previously, they wouldn't want to get involved. It's only after they get to see that the Malaysian hosted the MotoGP and the Formula One. Then it's only that, you know, after they see that Malaysians succeed in doing so, then they thought that, oh, why don't we give it a try, you know? So, bottom line, it's all about money. Because they were thinking like, if they think that the Malaysians can do it, why not us?